welcome to Points of Interest. I just love that she dances right off camera. All right, we're live. It's time to go.
This is not going to get distracting.
I think we have enough distractions on here.
Go right ahead.
I am. That is great. That is great placement. We have a lot of kind of fun stuff going on here.
Oh, hey, I didn't even notice we have subtitles. That's cool.
Yes, we do.
Nice.
We do.
Yes.
This killer quaggin.
Yeah.
You monster.
You're just so pleased with yourself that
I
I
am,
kind of wanted to get that in there. So I am Ruby. I am here with Teddy and Peter.
Hi,
they
everybody.
are back.
Hey.
And we just needed to give you a little dig because you were so stinking pleased with yourself on Twitter all week.
I kill a lot of things this season. So.
Look at how happy you are. You are disgusting. You are
So many
you are
deaths.
terrible.
This is the last
You are
time you'll
really
be
terrible.
seeing Peter.
This is all the ghosts of everything are going to come back and get their revenge.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So, well, we are going to kind of chat about Tangled Paths. Have you guys had a chance to play through your handiwork, or you looked at it enough the past few months?
Well, yeah, we play through it a lot while we're making it.
Yeah. After it's live, we kind of just like to go and drink in a dark place.
All right, well, I played through, and I really had a lot of fun with it. We need to talk about Terragriffs for a while after this is over, because I hate you.
The working name for those was Stabby Cats.
Yep.
Stabby Cats?
Yeah, I still kind of think of them as Stabby Cats. 'cause that's what
Seriously?
they were called.
All right, Stabby Cats.
No one can
that's-
say colloquial, the thing that the model we used before.
Yeah, Colicow.
That is, we need to talk about those two. Really, really, we need to have a chat. And there will be drinking. But
Hooray!
it's mostly going to be me drinking.
Drink every time one of them stabs you.
Trigger warning.
Seriously. Well, I don't want to die. I just want to drink a little bit. So let's start with what you guys worked on, and then we are going to take a look at a little bit of fan art, and then we'll kind of dive in.
Okay.
So, what have you done, Peter? What have you done?
With your
oh
life.
my gosh.
See, I'm afraid I'm gonna get the name of the episode wrong because we've been working across all these episodes at the same time. And,
Tangled Paths.
yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Just save
Tangled
it from
Paths.
yourselves right
what,
now.
What happened in this episode?
It's Tangled Paths.
So, yeah, this half of the season, I've started getting to actually write for some of the instances, which is something I haven't done before. So, with Teddy in the last episode, I wrote the
Cave's Expedition.
Kaith's Expedition that had Kanak and Kaith in it. And then this time, with Lisa Davis, I wrote on the Tracking the Aspect Masters.
That one was fun.
Yeah, so yeah, it was cool. So you get to do a little bit of character interaction and a little bit of death and, yep, a little sadness.
I mean,
You know, most people aren't this happy about that. Look at you. You're ridiculous.
Yeah, I got to write a Zephyrite prayer for the dead, you know, when that one Aspect Master gets stabbed by the Stabby Cat. And is
that's your jam.
Yeah.
Prayers for the dead.
Help us out here,
What you're
Teddy.
known for.
okay.
So
gosh.
previously up to this point, it's been Angel that's primarily been doing the story instances, right?
Yeah. So we've divided up the work a little bit.
So what'd you work on, Teddy?
So for this one, besides being principal and just overseeing a lot of the high-level stuff, I worked primarily on the Masterpiece instance, the Into the Labyrinth instance. That's what you changed the name to. Yeah, the maze
Yay,
you see
internal
before you.
names.
Yeah.
Stabby Cats. That was pretty much my entire focus for this one. Sarah Sperry and Lisa Davis worked on the Aspect Masters, the Pack Camp, and just the general open world stuff.
This is so much fun. Okay, so we have really, really cool stuff to show off, but we have really cool stuff to show off first that you guys did. So let's do some of the fan art first.
Okay.
Because I like bragging on you guys. This one came from Mia first. I love this char. And I have my cheat sheets in front of me so I can kind of tell about what they worked on. This is Mia's Mane, an angry, aging char warrior. I love when they give backstories to their characters because I'm not that good.
When you started that sentence, I thought you were going to say, this came from me.
This did not come from me. I am really, really not
You
that
drew
good.
that and just slipped it in there.
Nope.
Here's some art I did.
In game, she looks permanently stuck anywhere between annoyed to vicious on the emotional scale. This is probably her I am marginally confused face, which is what I've got going on in game quite a bit. So
She needs a hug.
I like it. I like it a lot. She's just,
Yeah.
I
she's
want to
good.
pet her mohawk.
You want to pet her mohawk?
Yeah.
I don't feel like that would go over well. We would get right back into stabby cat territory, I think.
I'm very charming with anthropomorphic creatures.
All right. I like it. All right, let's peek at the next one. And I am absolutely crazy about this one. I like the name and I like the art. The artist is by Ogden's Hammer, was the submitter. And I can't do that without saying, what savings? I actually, there were some little details on there, and I can't stop calling this the bee gun. But
Does
I
it
like
shoot
the
bees?
detail.
It's one of the ammo
No,
weapons,
and
right?
we really, really kind of dropped the ball on that. But Mike Z had a very detailed explanation for me about why we could not make that shoot bees. I don't remember. I didn't care about why it was. I was just mad.
It does look like it's full of honey or something.
It needs to shoot bees. But that one came from by Ogden's Hammer, and there's a really good process
Oh, yeah.
of the creation that I was not able to show today. But if you go to the Guild Wars 2 Tumblr, you can kind of see the entire creation process of this.
Nice.
So thank you for sending this one in, because I love it. And the bee gun is one of my favorite weapons.
Even though it doesn't shoot bees.
And it's not called that. It's just called that in my head. All right, this one came from Nola Alima. The reason I like this is because this was made, well, I'll just read this. This is the last piece I am creating completely on my phone.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
This just blows my mind. Again, I am not good. I am not an artist. This one was so good and took up the full screen that I actually hit us. It's just completely done on a phone.
I'm
Wow,
trying to
nice.
imagine the eye strain.
It looks like a 7-year-old did things on MS Paint when I do things on my phone. So,
Cool.
and this last one, I'm going to just kind of let you guys take this in. This is World versus World art from
Nice.
Radasum Renegade.
I like the pug.
And the longer you look at it, you have the Doritos down at the bottom.
There's more you see of every second. The little trains.
It's a karma train.
That's
Jokes!
awesome.
It's the more you sit there looking at
yeah,
it.
the Doritos too, right?
Yeah,
That's
there's
pretty awesome.
the Doritos in all the colors.
I get it. Clever.
Wow.
Yeah, it's this little Where's Waldo of World versus World cracks. So, all right, thank you guys for sending it in. You can go to Guild Wars 2 Tumblr and send your art in with Guild Wars 2 fan submission, because we really, really get a kick out of seeing your work.
I kind of want to join in the dancing with this.
You know,
the character in the background.
it's getting kind of crowded, and I'm gonna need a couple of those swords. I'm waiting for my character's hair to catch fire. She's just getting perilously close.
I'm waiting for my hair to catch fire.
Some
More
little
so.
lights in here.
It's kind of warm. Okay, let's kind of go into Tangled Paths. You are just wanting so bad to talk about the things you killed. You're so excited.
Well, actually, there's only one kill that I got in this time, but the Aspect Master. But the Masterpiece dies too.
Seriously needs to learn to dodge.
Did we give a spoiler warning? Spoilers?
You guys, it came out Tuesday.
Oh,
So we've, and
Statute of limitations.
here's
Yeah.
to all of you that didn't play
always,
yet.
always spoiler warnings on points of interest.
Yeah.
It's going to happen.
Peter's also just really inconsiderate. Factor
I
that
don't know
in.
if you guys have noticed, he really, really is, and he's so excited about it.
I just like killing things.
Yeah, poor Peter. I do want to kind of go in, Teddy, we talked before about how in Glint's Lair, you were the commander, you were kind of on your own, I've got this, I can handle this. And then we moved back to reuniting with your team at this point. So do you kind of want to go into, you worked on the maze, and now you're stronger with your team, and
Yeah,
you've got
yeah,
that whole
yeah.
teamwork thing going
So
on.
the Labyrinth instance and the maze in general is definitely something where we focused a lot more on trying to deliver an emotional experience through what's going on in the game to try and make those two sync up. So we wanted to start you in this place where you kind of actually felt unsafe, you felt a little bit hopeless. You're in this area where it's dark, you're confused, you don't know which way to go, there's this thing chasing you. And there's a lot of, like, the audio team worked really closely with us to get some of the more subtle cues in. Like when the lurcher gets close to you, you can hear the audio just shimmer a little bit, and it gets more and more intense when it gets close to you. We're trying to make you feel like you're afraid and unsafe in this place, which is not a feeling you feel a lot, I think, in most MMO games. And then the other thing is we want to reinforce how valuable your team is to you and the bond that all of you have. So if you really listen to it, as you go through this maze and you find each of the team members, the audio will get lighter and lighter as you find each one. And that's to align with the fact that you feel safer and safer with each one. Like when you find Jory, she starts pinging the map so you can see where everybody else is. When you find Casimir, the lights turn on. And one thing that so some people probably didn't have problems with this. People who played in bright rooms probably had problems with this. That maze was like half as dark as it actually was originally. Like originally,
Yeah, it was super
you
dark.
could barely
Oh
even
my
see the
gosh.
glimmer on the walls. And the idea there is, the thing that is, we want to take away your ability to see, and then when you get it back, you feel really, really empowered. You really feel appreciative of Casimir's abilities when the mesmer lights turn on. Other things like the creaking of the vines. The audio team actually, I think they wrapped a bunch of like bamboo planks together, and then like they wrapped a rope around it and just twisted, and that's how they got that
Seriously?
noise. Yeah.
They come up with some of the craziest things in there that I would never think, oh, that's how you made that.
It's one of those things when you work with someone that's very into their discipline, when they get excited, you can tell. And this is definitely one of the ones where the audio team got really excited.
Yeah,
They did good work on that.
yeah, they're awesome.
Well, that was an interesting experience. I think I appreciated it more after you and I talked about it. Just that spooky feeling, and I did play in a dark room the first time.
Yep.
But then after playing in a brighter room, I'm walking around and I was banging into walls. And okay, I don't like this. I would really like to go find Casimir now and have her turn her flashlight on.
Yeah. There's also the Pac-Man version in the open world, which I didn't do. That was Tyler Bierce.
Could you go get Tyler, please? Just run and
buzz
grab
him.
Tyler. I just want to
Just
have
shout really loudly.
Oh, I have.
Okay.
He's upstairs, right? So
Hear
Yeah.
you through the cement.
He'll hear. He probably has already heard me through the cement.
We're in arena bunker here.
yeah, we're
Yeah.
deep underground.
Yeah. Let's see. We need to kind of go through the. I've lost my train of thought, so I will kind of let you guys go through the maze. We've done the Pac-Man. Peter, what all did you work on?
So I was working on the second instance. So there was the first. You go back to the to Camp Resolve, and you see all the Destiny's Edge people and your friends again. And after that, you find out that the Aspect Masters and the Master of Peace have all left, and they're off somewhere with this egg, and you want to catch up and find out what's going on with this egg. So it's like you're telling everyone, look, I know you're all getting ready to go off and fight Mordramoth, but I've got this thing that the Pale Tree told me that looks important that I need to take care of, so I'm going to kind of go do my own thing here. And so you get some of your friends that come along with you there to help you catch up with them. And you're tracking the Aspect Masters that just left camp, and you catch up with them, and then they sort of let you know they trust you enough to let you in a little bit of the secret of what's going on here with the Master of Peace and where he's off to and how to find him with this elaborate mark that he draws on all the rocks around that Dahe came up with. It's pretty cool, that lightning bolt thing that I guess
Very fast artist.
Yeah, he probably spends like half an hour with a stencil and some spray paint doing that.
No wonder he
everywhere.
got caught. Seriously.
Yeah, the creatures caught up with him eventually. So and then you catch up with them. One of them is dead. The other two are heading back to camp again to sort of lick their wounds, I guess. And you finally catch up with the Master of Peace in the third instance, which is the one that Teddy worked on. And then after that, you realize you've got to go to the Pale Tree because there's a big twist that happens at the end of this episode. It is the end of this episode, right? The twist?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So there's a big...
How
there's a
much
big-
do we want to spoil people?
Yeah,
Maybe
I
not,
don't know.
maybe not quite that much. Maybe not quite that much.
Fine.
Something somewhat unexpected happens at the end of this episode with a character doing something that you might not have expected
Okay,
them to
we'll
do.
just kind of leave that one alone.
Okay.
That's where we tase Peter.
And then you want to go
That's
find
where
out.
we tase Peter. Is that what you just said?
You want to go find out what he or she might have been up to, and so you're going to go ask their mom about stuff. And
I feel like every word you say just digs your hole
You
deeper.
are bad at this. I have an idea. You want to talk about Keith and Canuck. See how I distract him?
Oh, okay, yeah, sure. So, in the last episode, when last we saw our friends, in the last episode, Teddy and I worked on this instance that had Canuck in it. And it's funny, I saw a lot of reaction online to people saying that they felt bad that their character was so rude to Canuck, because I guess a lot of people online really like this guy. And which, I like the character too. That's why I wanted to work on him. But
He did try to kill you.
yeah,
To be fair.
yeah. So your character has history with him. If you've been playing all along since Lost Shores and all the things that have happened since release, here's a guy that tried to kill you. He caused all kinds of problems in South Sun Shore, and then Cove, and then he got put in prison. And he got sort of conditionally released, but he's been given to this Anise, Countess Anise, and she was openly basically talking about sending him to spy on the Pact at the beginning of the second half of the season. So when he turns up in the Silver Wastes, your character is a commander of the Pact, and here's this guy that when you last saw him at the fancy party, he was talking about how he was gonna, go sneak around and find out what's what in the Silver Wastes. So I think you have a right to be suspicious and not trusting this guy.
We want you to not just explicitly trust this person
Yeah.
as an ally, because there's been a lot of things between you two, and having some gray area there makes your encounters much more tense. That's definitely something we were trying to go for when we were reintroducing him.
And you'll notice in that episode that he's mighty interested in what his big sister's up to.
There's a little bit of tension there.
Yeah. Why would that be? Well, why is he so interested in her?
I don't know. And she's kind of poking at him too.
Yeah.
Isn't she?
There was a little more of that originally in the first version, but we dialed back on it a little bit, the sibling rivalry thing. But there's the Sylvari have the firstborn and the secondborn, which is like a big sister, little sister thing that goes on, or little brother that Canuck is a character that's always thought he should be one of those firstborn, and he had a lot of sort of petty jealousy things going on when we first introduced him, when he had that big floppy head.
There's nothing wrong with that hair.
Eternally petty.
He looks much cooler now.
So, Keith is kind of taking some little jabs at him too, and Anise is taking some jabs at him. He's kind of under the gun all around. I mean,
yeah, I like writing that stuff. It's fun.
What happens when you try to kill everybody?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, there'll be more of that.
Confess to a little sympathy myself.
I like him, don't get me wrong. It's just he did try to kill you and a bunch of other people.
No, I love the character.
Fine.
I'm hoping we see a lot more of him.
He's got such a great voice too. The way he delivers his lines makes you feel like, I shouldn't trust you, but
So sinister.
Pretty smooth.
You know what you're doing, so I guess we'll work together.
Yep.
You were talking about kind of dialing back and things that we hadn't worked on. I had a note here, and that was something that you and I talked about that I really, really wanted to mention. The sword, Belinda's sword that Jory worked on, you had a story that we didn't get to share before, but that I really wanted to get in here about how that scene almost didn't make it in.
Okay, pulling the curtain back a little bit.
Yeah.
Some of you
It's
have
always
caught
dangerous.
Yeah, but this is really, really good.
just to get you a more authentic idea of our process and everything that goes into these releases. A lot of times we build content that we don't necessarily release because we don't feel like it's appropriate for that moment in time, or it's everything we could make it. That instance, Ghosts of Fort Salma, was actually supposed to go in episode 4, so months ago at the conclusion of that. But through discussion and through review, we decided we wanted to end more on the cliffhanger at the end of episode 4 than to have a denouement, because that's exactly what it was supposed to be.
Denouement.
I know words, Peter. I went to
Nice.
college.
Fancy words.
Yeah, so it was originally supposed to be there, and then it went to episode 5, where it is now. But it was we also talked a long time about it going to episode 6 because we wanted to flesh out some of the plot points there. And then through much discussion, we almost cut it. There was definitely at one point the idea that we probably just shouldn't do this instance. And there's a lot of fighting on the team. Fighting's not a good word. There's a lot of healthy debate on the team.
Violence.
I didn't hit anybody.
There's a lot of violence.
But and so it eventually ended back in episode 5, and I ended up working on it because I wasn't originally a person that was supposed to work on it. So things get jumbled around. In that particular instance, I and a lot of other people on the team fought for that one to be in because we feel like it's important to tie up plot points where you can, just to follow through. Like the loss of Marjorie's sister is very traumatic for that character and traumatic for fans of that character, and also a major plot development point. Same thing with Marjorie learning to use the sword. So like there's this narrative that it's not central to the storyline, but it's very important for people who enjoy those characters and want to see the follow-through of those characters. So that's why we've been pretty consistently trying to follow up with like Marjorie learning how to use a great sword, and just the story of like how she's going to deal with her sister's loss.
And you worked an extra hour or two on that?
I think I worked a 120-hour week once.
Yeah, you just lived here to get that done.
Found hours in between the hours.
The underside of my desk is very comfortable.
Yeah, that was just one of those things where we really felt strongly about getting something done and getting it done well.
So that's the thing. I mean, there are a finite amount of resources we can put into any release, but sometimes like there's such inspiration for the people working on it that we dedicate our own time to it. We work late nights, we stay at work all night, that kind of thing. Not because we have to, but because we feel really strongly that these pieces should be the best that they can be. I mean, Glint's Lair and the Derwent Priory, definitely one of those. And I think that one really shows, because that one had so much stuff in it. I mean, Byron was here late nights. Gwyneth, who did a lot of the prop art for that. Like, when I was staying overnight, she was here till 2 a.m. on those nights, so she was here late as well. And it's not us like trying to ram things at the door. It's just us working on things that we love, and it makes us really happy when those things that we love resonate with you, as some of the content has.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's kind of interesting trying to find that balance too as you're working on that stuff. You and I had talked quite a bit about.
Yeah, I mean, there's always the secondary characters, like your friends, would be like, there's always this tricky balance about telling too much, like getting too far into their backstories to where it overshadows like what the actual main plot is. But at the same time, you need that to like have a connection with them. So one of the things that narrative and design often like just talk about a lot of meetings is like how far do we go with the backstories and how much light do we show or shine upon them, because they are extremely important to making you care about those characters, but they can't overshadow like the main like thrust of the action. Otherwise they would just be a disservice to you. So I mean, we've landed on both sides of that in the past, and depending on who you are, you're gonna like one side or the other better, and that's okay. I mean, we understand that. We try and make content that, is there for the people that love those characters, but not completely standing in the way for people who don't care.
Yeah, it's kind of a difficult balance too.
Yeah, I mean, I think we have shown, at least tooting our own horn, I feel like we've shown in the last few releases that we're getting a lot better at that, finding that middle ground.
Well, that's part of the process. You're really never done learning and figuring this out.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't think you've ever gotten to any point where you're like, okay, we're done.
No.
This game is finished.
Nothing's ever perfect.
We want to keep going back and fixing things.
Yeah.
Nothing's ever perfect, even
Yeah.
the things that are perfect.
Yeah. So, well, thank you guys. Speaking of Canuck, we have one more thing before we finish up and
Awesome.
jump to. I'm super excited about this. We were talking quite a bit about Canuck and about storytelling and how we get to this, and we had an interview. Well, it was kind of an interview. It was some old friends talking. Our narrative director, Leo Hoyer, was down chatting with John DiMaggio, the voice of Canuck, and everybody's like, and Bender.
He hasn't done any other voice
Jake the
work. I
dog.
mean, who is this guy? I don't know.
Right?
Gears of War? Gears of what?
Yeah, he has done a few voices. But she did some chatting with John DiMaggio, and we have some information from him about how he got into the voice of Canuck. So we're going to listen to that real quick.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, you'll get a character Bible. Someone will tell you what the story's about, what the character's about, and how they'd like the character portrayed. There's people that create a character for you have an idea in their head, and they kind of want they kind of want to put that out there. And if you read, the character and you see what's going on, you kind of want to put your thing on it. So, you kind of have to, get into the booth and mix it up and see what sticks. Maybe it's a combination of both what, the creator wants and what you want. Or maybe, maybe the creator goes, wow, that's a really great take on that. I didn't even think about it. Let's try that. Or maybe, I just go, okay, I'll just do what you want. It's just, it all depends on the job, and it depends on, it depends on what's needed. Somebody says, he's kind of a checkered guy. It's just immediately I sort of go into this sort of thing when, oh, yes. Oh, there he is. He's just that classic character that you remember from old time movies and stuff. I don't know. It's just weird. It just hits you. I don't know. I've always had that as an actor, like it just comes, and I don't know where it comes from, but it comes. You know what I mean? And other people are very specific in how they create and how they craft. Me, I just I just shoot from the hip, and that's kind of how that happened.
Hi.
How's it going?
You're still not on the wrong show.
I know.
I
know.
So glad Hugh is back for the first official episode of PvP 101.
That's right.
I did my homework.
Excellent. That's
Yes.
what we were hoping to do. Hopefully you guys did as well.
Yeah. So I heard from a lot of people this past 2 weeks. I was really, really excited. A lot of people were chatting with me in game and tweeting at me, and we were just hearing from people on different channels saying that they were really excited. They were kind of looking forward to this. They had been feeling the same thing, that, kind of want to get into PvP, but, it looks like this big thing, and I have no idea where to even start. So I kind of got in there and looked around, and
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing is that it's definitely a scary monster when you don't really know what to expect. But once you do, and you kind of get in there and walk around and actually play a couple games, it'll hook you pretty quick because it's a lot of fun. It is a lot of fun. And that's why
I'm unlocking things over here.
I know.
I'm excited.
Yeah. Oh, actually, look. See, you're unlocking all like the collectors. Yep. Oh man, look at you! Just all these skins you have unlocked. That's
I wanted
sweet.
to click those.
Too late.
Okay.
Mine now.
Okay, so what did I do these past 2 weeks? Went through the dungeon tracks.
Yep. So PvP menu and then reward tracks over here.
We have placed you at my monitor, so
Yeah,
you get to push all the buttons. Went through, unlocked the dungeon tracks, looked at the dungeon tracks,
Yeah.
and wished I could unlock them.
Yeah.
So we have 2 rounds of dungeon tracks. We have the regional ones,
Yep.
and we have the dungeon ones, which I just realized. See how sad and noob I am? Help me, Hugh.
No, so one of the big things actually, Ruby. I was talking with Ruby about this, and she was like, "Hey, Hugh, you have the title for running dungeons."
I said it in a much more angry fashion.
Yes, and because I was explaining to her that the dungeon tracks unlock by running the story mode dungeons, and that happened in April when we did that. But yet she had that before then because she
I
had
have
been
the
playing
dungeon
dungeons.
master title. It turns out I'm still angry.
Yes. So, but that was one of the designs we made was during the April patch, we wanted to make sure like PvP players as well as PvE players could be on the same foot. And we said, hey, after this patch, go run the dungeons, only the story mode to unlock those dungeons. So that was one of the things that's not really messaged well. So you can see like right here, this is kind of like the dungeon tracks run in like a cycle where they unlock for, I think it's like every 2 weeks we unlock a new one. And so right now you can see like the Crucible of Eternity dungeon track here has 3 days, 11 hours, and some odd minutes left. So like if she were to go and run an actual dungeon in story mode, you would unlock that, and that'd be unlocked forever for your account, not just character based, it's actually account based.
Yeah. So I earned the dungeon master title on my account before the feature pack 1 hit.
Yes.
But we want to start everybody on an even footing. And I was bummed. I
Yeah.
was super bummed when I found out, but I do understand. I mean, it's fair and it makes total sense. You want to start everybody out from step one.
Yeah.
So as I run those in story mode, I'll unlock them and those will be available to me forever.
Yeah. And even, and here's another thing too, is that if she were to like say activate, I don't do this right now, activate the Crucible Return to the Reward track, and this will, if she doesn't do Crucible Return to the story mode, it will go on rotation. All the progress she did would save. So if she did unlock that by playing the Crucible Return to the story mode, it would be unlocked and all the progress she had would be saved. So it's kind of one of those things where just play it if you want to get the rewards. And like, obviously we show like the rewards, like here you get like, some the actual specific piece of dungeon armor, as well as some other goodies along the way. And then as you go through all the stuff, you're getting Dragonite and all kinds of champion bags and all stuff
All that
like
good
that.
stuff.
Yeah. So that was the stuff, Ruby came to me with a bunch of questions. I was able to answer them, and now I was able to share those answers with you guys. But yeah.
The one right now that I'm super interested in, and I'm assuming a lot of the really, really enthusiastic PvE players, is the Maguma Waste Track.
Yes. Maguma Waste Track.
Because that matches the current Living World content.
Yeah. And the best part is, you get the Ambrite fossils, Zephyrite keys, you get Mystic Clover, Obsidian shards, Imperial fragments, Dragonite ore, Silky sand, geodes. You get all that stuff.
All that good high level stuff that
Yeah.
we're playing around with. So you can still get the same rewards.
Yeah. Play some PvP, enjoy it. You can play in custom arena, or even now that we've announced it, you can play in practice mode, practice arena, where you can go in there and practice with your friends. You can go unranked arena, which is a place it goes to all the matchmaking and doing all that stuff, and allows you as a player to actually play against people more on your skill level. Whereas practice arena, you kind of jump in, you may fight some people that are really good, some that aren't so good. A practice arena, again, is a much more casual zone, and that's what we're really trying to show. But yeah, you can jump unranked arena, and if you feel good about yourself, and you guys got a team, or even just solo, you can jump in ranked arena and play that as well.
All right, so I am going to start dipping my toes in the water, right?
Yeah, so one of the big things we wanted to go over today was the PvP interface. Kind of going over the PvP build, UI, and right now I'll be showing like the game browser as well as, unfortunately this is going to be changing in the December 2nd update, but I'm going to at least go over the game browser because that's going to be staying mostly the same. But let's start, let's go PvP build. So this is actually one thing that a lot of PvE players just don't have the knowledge because it's not really well messaged. Is you have a PvP build at the very top of the menu here when you're in the PvP Heart of the Mists. You actually can, whatever weapon you're using is what weapon you'll use in the build. But after that, everything else is pretty much unlocked for you. So like let's say for here, Ruby's got Sigil of Energy and all this. This is actually not on her weapon. It's just on the PvP build. So if I were to actually open up her actual build here, we could see that, yeah, you can see that like she's got her weapon and it doesn't have any signets on it, but she's got all these other all these other items, and these actually don't affect your stats in any way because you have what we like to call an amulet. If any of you have played PvP in the past, you'll know that amulets were all your stats. Pretty much one piece to rule them all. And so, yeah, that's what you can
Nice.
do. So yeah, one thing you can do here is you can go in here and actually select whatever stats, and these are just unlocked for you. As well as we have some unique, or some ones that have come in after ship that you can buy for some gold. I think it's like 10 gold. Yeah, 10 gold to unlock this. And this is account unlocks. So let's say you're playing and you want to be like, man, I feel like I should be a little tankier. You can actually come in your PvP build, throw in a little bit tankier amulet. Hey, I wish I had more healing. Hey, I wish I had more damage. And just switch those things up. As well as runes. All the runes in the world. All the runes. We have so many runes. And you can kind of really customize your builds with this rune. And it's one rune, again, to rule them all. You equip the rune and you get all 6 stats pieces right there. Very simple. Click it. Again, a couple extra ones here that you can unlock for about, I think it's about 5 gold. Yeah, 5 gold. So if you really want altruism or resistance or Mad King or Traveler, you can come in here if you really want it. Buy it 5 gold, unlock for your account. Don't have to buy it ever again. Slot it. There's no cost to unslotting and slotting. It's instant. You just click the button, you're ready to go. Same with, again, sigils. Boom, same thing. All the sigils, a couple extra ones on the back end just in case you want to buy them. I believe it's only 3 gold. And again, completely unlocked. And then obviously right here is your traits. It's pretty much the exact same way your traits work now. You just kind of, if you want to change your build, switch out some of your traits and you're good to go. Play around with this. Take your build. go online. There's a couple sites that we'll plug here at the end to talk about that kind of stuff. But pick a build. I mean, it's really easy to go in there and just try something. I mean, even I would tell my friends who are new to the game, go into PvP, make a build, play it, and see if you like it. And if you do, go into PvE and go make that build. Right, like one of the big CC builds that I used to run for dungeons or survival builds. I tried it in PvP and just to see if I could survive against players and stuff like that, and I really liked it. So I went and bought like the Knight's Amulet stuff and all that good stuff, and actually made the build in PvE. So it's actually a good place that you can kind of play around with stuff as well.
Yeah, and we talked about, and you're not just jumping in and figuring, okay, I have all of these blank spaces to fill in.
Yeah.
You're not just diving in and figuring it out on your own. You have a couple of different sites that we can hit the forums, hit a couple of fan sites, and there are some builds that you can start getting your feet wet with.
Yeah.
That made it less scary for me.
Yeah, and another thing too is in the actual PvP lobby here, there's some golems and some other stuff that you can actually practice your build on. If you're going for the super tanky build or super DPS, you can kind of practice your rotations on a light, medium, heavy golem. There's a couple of golems that run around, so you can kind of get used to chasing people, as well as we have on the very far side here a couple of conquest NPC specific guys that will actually attack you as if they were in a conquest map. So the last thing I kind of wanted to show off is just kind of going over how to actually get into a map, and also like some other stuff about like maybe even getting your guild to do specific things with custom arenas. So if you go to the top here, game browser, you'll see that there's a place where you can go and actually pick a server to play in. You can just play now and just jump right into a match, no holds barred, just jump in there and start playing. But if you want to and you want to get your guild together and whatnot, you can actually go and look for a match that doesn't have any players. And you actually jump in there and play with your friends. You can also go for a little fee. Let me go run over here so you guys can see where it is. For a fee about 200 gold, with your guild, you can buy an actual custom arena. And some people, and I think Ruby actually brought this up to me, have these things called custom arena time tokens that they get from like opening
Black Lion chests.
Black Lion chests and stuff
seven
like
of these things sitting in my bank. So
yeah,
I'm
and so
interested.
So you can just come here. Everyone in your guild. I mean, obviously, I'm just saying like a single player can buy this, but it's kind of expensive. But if your guild all shells out like 5 gold or whatnot, you gotta actually buy this and set up a custom arena where you can have specific rules, like you can whitelist people or lock it with its password, and you can go in there and practice with your guild and team like that. And so like one of the things I really like doing is you go here and you click name, and this actually shows you all the names of pretty much the non-arena that specific guilds, and you actually find it here, and you'll see some people are really into 1v1s, some people are just practicing and whatnot, as well as, like I said at the very bottom here, you can actually pick, hey guys, we're all going to go to server, 37. Let's all practice in there. Yeah. As well as if we're on your friends list, a little notification will pop up and be like, hey, this person is playing in PvP in this server, and you can just click it and just go straight in. So, the actual homework for this week, guys, I want you guys to make a build. Go on, what was the website? It was PvP. What was
Misspedia?
it? I don't think it was Misspedia. Meta Battle. Thank you very much, Mr. Josh. Meta Battle. It's a great website.
Thank you, Josh.
A lot of stuff. Actually, PvP builds, PvE builds, World v World builds. Go on the PvP side. Check to see if a build in there you like. Make the build. It shouldn't cost you really anything. If it literally maybe cost you 5 or 6 gold to buy a specific thing that you may need. Go in there, pick a build. Ask your guild, see if they want to go. Jump in the custom arena. Either pick a specific custom arena you want to play in, or just hit play now.
Okay.
and Ruby's gonna go ahead. She's gonna play. She's gonna have some fun. You got your guild. They're gonna play with you, right? Guild members are gonna play with her to kind of help her through.
They're definitely not gonna kill me.
I'm sure they will. But they'll love doing it, and that's half the fun.
Yes, they will. They will love it.
But I will say that getting in there, progressing the reward tracks, getting a couple things, and also having some friends to do it with is a really, really nice introduction to PvP.
Yeah, I think once getting through those first couple scary matches is that first thing. So I will get my feet wet over these next couple weeks, and let's see how I did.
Yeah, play a couple matches,
guys.
Yeah. Next week or next time, I guess we'll be talking about maybe some matches and other stuff like that. But again, play some matches, guys. Have some fun.
All right. Thank you, Hugh.
No problem, guys. Thanks for having me, Miss Ruby.
It'll be okay.
All right.
Thanks, guys. I'll see you in 2 weeks.
Have a good one.
Bye.
Oh, traveler.
Thank you.
Guild Wars 2, yay!